This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Singapore. A hearty welcome to all the listeners in India, especially to Singapore, and of course to the United States. A very warm good morning, especially in the eastern part of the United States. I believe it's still snowing. So, a very warm Sunday morning to all the listeners and happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to another edition of Storytellers Café, a part of Bharat FM Media Group. And Storytellers Café is a 30-minute to 45-minute segment every Sunday evening, Indian time, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we have a special menu, which is stories. Stories from tellers who come not only from different parts of India, but also from across the world to share with you stories and warm the cockles of your heart. So, tonight, especially on Valentine's Day, we have something special for you. Valentine's Day, as we all know, is celebrated on the 14th of February. It originated as a minor Western Christian feast day, honoring Christian martyrs, especially a Christian martyr named Saint Valentine. And later on, through folk traditions, this day has become a significant cultural and commercial celebration of romance and romantic love in many regions of the world. Of course, Valentine's Day also celebrates the coming of spring. Love is a powerful emotion, my friends. Throughout history, couples in love have caused wars and controversies, created masterpieces in writing, music, art, and culture, and have captured the hearts of the public with the power of their words, stories. I remember A.K. Ramanujam's quote, which goes somewhat like this: to tell a story is to discover or reveal a secret. Every Sunday on Storytellers Café, when I present my guests who are storytellers, I discover something new. They reveal a secret, right? I'm sure you all would agree with me. Well, tonight my guest is a special guest from Singapore, and Rani Kanna from Singapore. Rani is the founder director of the company AKT Creations. Rani is a passionate educator who believes in the quote, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Theatre artist, television host, actor, voiceover artist, professional storyteller, and language researcher. These are a few facets of her talented personality. Rani completed her bachelor's degree in Tamil language and her master's degree in applied linguistics. Rani is committed to promoting bilingualism and has conducted many successful storytelling workshops for students, teachers, librarians, and volunteers in Singapore. Rani employs her expertise in educating children and instilling in them the love for English and Tamil languages using performing arts through the workshops conducted by her company, AKT Creations. You all know, friends, there are 3 languages spoken, or the official languages spoken in Singapore: Tamil, Malay, and Chinese. and of course, English. Rani has great appreciation for Indian traditional art forms and has been directing plays and preschool musicals since the year 2014. She has organized the AKT Festival and Multilingual Storython since 2016 to promote storytelling and understanding the diversity of Singapore. Her favorite quote, and here I go, there isn't anyone you couldn't learn to love once you have heard their story. I don't have to say anything more. Being Valentine's Day, a day of romance, let's bring Rani Kanna into our studios. And Storytellers Café is indeed honored, happy, proud to present Rani. Welcome, Rani.
Vanakkam. Thank you, Usha.
It's such a pleasure to have you here, Rani. You know, we've had quite a few storytellers from Singapore. We started with Kamini, and then we went to Nandini, and then to Rosemary Somaya, and also Kiran Shah, who moonlights. You know, she does,
Yeah,
half one set of foot in Singapore and the other
yes,
one in Sydney. And you
yes.
are a fifth storyteller from this island nation.
Thank
What
you.
a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be part of this, and I also to join the line of wonderful storytellers from Singapore. You have mentioned. I remember them, and I've worked with them, and I'm very grateful.
Wonderful. Rani, let's just dive into today's session. What's your story?
All right. Let me tell you a kutti story about my life, maybe.
Yes.
It's like, who am I? And how did storytelling attracted me? How did I went into storytelling? I've always wanted to be a teacher since childhood, and that I became. So I was a trained MOE trained teacher, and I was teaching in school, and I was a very passionate teacher. It's like, I love children, and I'm an avid reader and learner, and I always wanted to impart the love for languages, the love for knowledge into my children. So, like a simple example, if when I was doing a lesson on birds, I would bring the real nest, the bird nest, into the classroom, let them explore, let them feel, let them recreate. And, like, I would be jumping and putting theater element and dancing, and all that happened in my classroom. But somehow along the way, the mainstream education seemed to be like finishing chapters and hitting target. So I thought maybe that's not for me. So I quit my iron rice bowl, and then I wanted to pursue something. I wanted to gain more knowledge. I wanted to hone my skills. So I went to pursue my degree. At that time, in Tamil language, there wasn't a degree in Singapore. So I had to go to overseas to do my degree. So I packed my suitcase to pursue my BA Tamil literature. And not only packed my bag, I packed my 9 months old daughter. Yes, I had given birth, and my daughter was only 9 months, and everyone was quite skeptical. What? You're giving up your job and you're bringing your child to India, to Madurai, and how can she live there? Will she be able to adapt? Can you cope? A lot of questions was around me, but I know what I want to do. I was quite passionate about upgrading myself, and I wanted to do this. So, and I think the universe conspired, and my husband was very, very supportive. He was the pillar in my learning journey. And I packed myself and my daughter, and I went to Madurai to do my BA degree in Tamil. And there I started off my first year in Fatima College. And then after that, I went on to do in University of Madras my second and third year, is when my husband joined me there. So we wanted to be together. We wanted to be together as a family. So I moved on, and was so happy that I was there. And my daughter and everybody was like worried, how is she going to cope the weather and the environment, and how am I going to be at, in the beginning first year I was alone. And I had a blessing. I had my aunt with me who looked after her when I went to school. So I was all alone managing the curriculum, the environment, the food, the staying, and I managed to do. And my daughter was a little angel who was there for me. It's like whenever I'm sad, I look at her, it's just gone. Everything else is gone. And she narrowed my, she made me understand and the importance of what I'm doing, and I should never give up. So seeing her face made me forget all the worries, and she was with me. Then after that, my husband joined me, and then I pursued my second, third year. After finishing my bachelor's, my knowledge, my quest for knowledge didn't stop there. I wanted to pursue my master's. Now I thought I've done my BA in Tamil language. Let me explore what is the similarities in language, how a child acquires language. So that made me join Applied Linguistics in Madras University. So there I met a wonderful lecturer, Deva Sundaram, and with from him I learned how the languages evolved. And since I was specializing in Tamil, in the Tamil language, so I understand the diagnostic nature of the Tamil language. Our written and spoken Tamil is different, and with there for a language speaker, you need to know both. And how can we teach them, and how can we understand when a child speaks, and the variety of different languages people speak. So I was very happy to explore with him. Until today, he's there with me whenever I have a questions about language teaching or learning, and for me to lament about the system, he's there for me. So I'm very glad, very, very glad that I met these two people, and then I was able to complete my BA and my master's. In this journey, I met wonderful people there, and one of them was Jiva Raghunath, the international storyteller. Though I loved hearing stories, telling stories, but I never thought it as a pedagogy or as a profession I could take on. So meeting her, seeing her tell stories, it's like it made me joy. And like I could say, wow, I want to be that person, and I want to do that. I want to bring the joy, how I felt, into my students. When I teach something, I want to have storytelling in it, because I felt the joy I've been telling my daughter. So I wanted to bring it to my classroom. So Jiva was my first guru, and she taught me a number of the variety, the way we can tell stories. And after that, I met my husband was training in Kuthupattare, a drama company. I get to see the way a story is performed in a theater, the different takes they take in a story, how it evolves, and how the characterizations are done. So I had the blessing of seeing the theater fraternity. And also being in India, being in Tamil Nadu, I was exposed to a lot of Marabu art form. So I could see the rich culture there. My Tamil culture. See, I'm a very proud Singaporean Tamil. And when I went there, when I went to Tamil Nadu, I see my culture so vibrant there. Then I thought, how can I expose this culture to my kids in Singapore? How can I bring storytelling? How can I bring my theater element into that classroom? How can I make the whole learning joyful in my classroom? These were my search, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to impart. So, and that's when with Jiva, I found storytelling, and I wanted to make this my profession and make this the core of what I do, what I want to do in future. And that is my a small story about how I found storytelling, Usha. How storytelling inspired me, how Jiva inspired.
Yes, we all love Jiva. Jiva was my first guest
All right.
when I launched Storytellers Café, and early July. She
All
was
right.
my first guest. And
Okay.
I agree totally with you. Jiva is immersed in her story.
Yeah.
That's what I see every time I watch her or listen to her. And she enjoys, and she completely loses herself uninhibited. And that's how she tells a story. And that's an
Yes.
important takeaway. We love
And
Jiva.
I need to tell you one more thing also. When I see her tell, I wanted to do like her, but I need to tell all storytellers, you need not do something like another storyteller does. She has great voices, great singing, and I am just a new storyteller who's like quite scared. Can I do that? I have a lot of skepticism. Can I do that? I was so quite fearful, and she was very motivating. So you have your style. You need to find your style and practice, and you will get it. So I just wanted to tell the storytellers, the beginning storytellers, so not to be afraid of somebody you look up to. Learn from them and create your own style.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Experiment, work on your style, and who knows? In a couple of years, you would have your own distinct style, which is very different, unique
Yes.
from
Yes.
everyone. But
Yes.
just explore. Yes,
Yes, and
absolutely.
when I went to few storytelling international storytelling festivals, I realized you need from Vaipa Tosa from Thailand, like how you could just sit simply and quietly, you can tell a story, and that the kids will be mesmerized and hear your voice. I was like, wow, and everybody had a style, and I realized that just choose your own way and tell your story.
Absolutely. Vayu Patosa to all my listeners on Storytellers Cafe is a wonderful, wonderful storyteller from Thailand.
Yes.
Yes, we will get to hear her definitely soon, this year, inshallah.
Well,
God willing. Do you have a story for us?
yes, definitely. I have lots of story, but I'm always attracted to stories, motivational stories, stories which inspire. So one such story is this story about Raju who lives in a beautiful country, India, in a state called Rajasthan. And he makes his living by getting saris from the wholesale shop, and he goes to the neighboring village and he sells them, and that's how he make his living. One fine day he packed his whole bundle, put all the saris, the Kanjipuram, the Banaras, the cotton saris, and all kinds of expensive saris. While he was packing his bundle, he was thinking, I will never be able to get one such sari for my wife. Wonder who are the lucky ones who are going to wear this. Lamenting, he packed his whole bundle and he put it on his head. And he walked and he walked and walked. That particular day, it was so hot, and he had to cross this desert to come to the next village. So while he was walking through the desert, sweats were trickling from his forehead. He wiped and he looked around for a shade to sit and rest, but there were no trees. Oh dear, I'm so tired. How I wish there was a tree. Suddenly, a tree magically appeared. Roger was quite shocked, but he was happy. There was some shade, he could rest. So he put his bundle down and he lay against the tree and he rested for a while. Soon he became thirsty. How I wish I could get some water. Magically, a jug appeared and he poured some water. Glug, 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 and he quenched his thirst. And soon, after a few minutes, his stomach started to rumble. Kadagada kudugudu, kadagada kudugudu. Oh dear, I'm so hungry. I wish there's some food around here. Magically, a big plate with rice, vegetables, kutu, puriyal, and every wonderful dish appeared in front of him. And he ate to his heart's content. And he let out a contented burp. Wow, I've never tasted such a wonderful food. Oh. And then soon he felt a little sleepy. That's what happens after a heavy meal. And he said, oh, how I wish I could get a bed to lie down and rest my back. Yes, magically, a bed with soft bed, a soft mattress, and a soft pillow appeared. Without hesitating, he hopped on and lay down. Oh, how nice! And he said, "Oh, my legs are aching. All this walking has made me so tired. How I wish there will be someone to press my aching leg." Guess what? That's what happened. A woman appeared at the foot of the bed and started pressing and massaging his leg. Wow, how comforting that was! And he dozed off to sleep. Suddenly, he woke up and he thought, "Ooh, whatever happening around me seems to be too mysterious. What if there's a monster and he want to eat me?" And exactly that's what happened. A monster appeared and said, "I'm going to eat you." And Raju ran and ran and ran to save his life. And he ran and ran, panting breathlessly. And he said, "How I wish the monster disappear." Hmm? Yes, the monster disappeared. And Raju thought, "Oh, this place seems to be magical. Whatever I wish for is happening." Just then, a voice came. "Be careful of what you wish for it might come true." Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing magical story. Sometimes when you wish for something, you wish it would come true.
Yes.
So, yes. What a lovely story. Is
I
this
used to,
Indian author?
yes, it's a Rajasthani folktale. So I used to tell my children, "Be careful, don't say you can't do something. Always wish for positive things." When I say, "Remember the monster?" He might appear. You want to wish a monster, or you want to wish for the wonderful things which Rajubai asked for. So sometimes I will be telling them, "So no, no, I want to get good marks. I want to be like Rajubai. I don't want monster." And the kids will be doing it. So it's like, indirectly putting such values into a child's mind. As we say, storytelling is a powerful tool to put ideas into the world today. So
Absolutely.
that's one of my
I
favorite
couldn't
stories.
agree. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Rani, my next question to you, is about your company AKT. What does it stand for? And what do you do? I mean, what all do you do?
Okay, AKT means like Ananda Kuthu. Ananda Kuthu theatre. Ananda Kuthu is like a joyful performance. It can be anything, a joyful storytelling, drama, theatre, dance, song. It's like Ananda Kuthu. So that is our Ananda Kuthu theatre, AKT. And why I started this, as I told you, my journey, my Kuti story, the part one of my Kuti story, how I finished my PA and I finished my master's. So when I came back, when I finished all my studies and came back, and when I came back, I wanted to do something. I wanted to, with all the things which I've learned, I came with great vigor and I wanted to pass on. I wanted to try everything which I've learned. So I started this company, AKT Creations. I think we are 10 years this year. We are celebrating our 10th year this year. And when I came back, I started this company AKT, and I designed courses, joyful learning, fun-filled courses where storytelling is the core, storytelling and drama is the core in all the courses we have designed. We did speech and drama, theatre, creative writing, and whatever the mainstream school teachers ask, we design for them without instilling the joy. We don't just take for the sake of teaching. We incorporate all the elements which I learned. So I designed some courses for the school. Also, we put up theatre performances. As I told you, we were so inspired by the Marabu arts, the rich Tamil culture in Tamil Nadu. So we wanted to bring this art form. So we have a number of plays, a theatre plays for kids. So one of which I've directed is a Jing Jak. So Jing Jak, I incorporated while storytelling, in the performance storytelling. I also wanted to bring this Marabu elements. So you would have heard of Poikal Kudare and Mailatam, which is performed as a performance, as a dance performance. So I took that element of Poikal Kudare and the Mail. I brought them as a character in the story. So the story revolves around these two characters, how they become friends, and what happens when they meet some hurdles. So I did a number of series. I think this is the sixth or seventh year. With these two characters, I introduced. We did some fractured folk tales about the woodcutter, plus meeting a demon and how do you face challenges in your life. Later, I brought in the Nirel Pavi Kutu, the shadow puppet, in one of our plays where they meet. They meet this this what I say. Sankanchil. It's a Sankanchil is a local story. Sankanchil, the mouse deer. So we did that story as a shadow play when this Jing and Juk learned their lessons from that story. So a story within a story. So shadow puppets and Thor Neel Pave Kutil and Poikal Kudare Mailatam. And we put up with our theatre company, we put up Karagam. Karagam is another a dance, a wonderful dance of Tamil Nadu. And how did it's usually done as a dance. And how did our company and the director, and they brought it up, is using a story, a beautiful story about celebrating failures. Usually we say கரகத்தை தூக்கி வச்சு ஆடுறான் பாரு means like celebrating குழந்தைய தூக்கி வச்சு ஆடுறான் பாரு அப்படின்னா it's like you value your child so much, you're so proud of it. So similarly, like when we carry something and celebrate, you're very proud of it. But then we wanted to celebrate our failures, so the play revolves around that. So in that story, in that drama, the element of karagam came. So we try to instill the Marabu art forms into our storytelling. Sometimes I do tell as a single person and as with my partner and also as a theatre group. So we enjoy bringing out the story. One in Tamil traditional, as a Tamil traditional, bringing in the Tamil traditional art form. At the same time, I'm in Singapore. We have a diverse culture, so we want our kids to be exposed to this diversity. So once we had this, when we did this storytelling on race, we have three characters. One is the Poikal Kudire. Another one is the Kuda Kapang from the Malay culture. Another one is the lion from the Chinese culture, lion dance. So these three creatures would be friends. So the friends and the fox, the cunning fox in the forest, will try to bring them up. And he'll be telling all the wrong things and create a fight. And that will lead them to go for a race. And then the lion who was ahead in the race, he will fall down and hurt his leg. The other two friends will stop and help them. And the lion will ask, "Why didn't you win the race? Why did you stop?" And they said, "Winning is not everything. You are our friend, so we have to help you." So in that story, we imparted that winning is not everything, and also the friendship is important. At the same time, the kids get to see the Chinese lion, the lion from the Chinese culture, the Kuda Kapag from the Malay culture, the Poikal Kudre from our Indian culture. So we try to bring in this diverse culture in our storytelling and story performances, and even in our theatre productions. So as I told you, storytelling is the core in whatever we do. As all of us know how powerful storytelling is. There's numerous scientific researches which has happened, how it brings emotional intelligence, and it's everything. It's like how it shapes a child holistically. So the cognitive development, the social development, the emotional development, there is numerous studies which we can't say know about, and we should so that's when I started embracing storytelling very strongly. And the way I wanted to show, the way I wanted to bring to my kids changes. And for that, many tools, many wonderful teachers I met helped me a lot. And even in Singapore, we have a great fraternity of storytellers from Feast. I'm a member of Feast, and also Singapore Storytelling Association. And we have wonderful friends in this storytelling fraternity, and we collaborate, we perform in each other's programs, and we grow as a big group in Singapore, promoting storytelling, keeping our own identity at the same time, having a diverse culture together.
Very interesting, Rani. Very interesting. Yes, Singapore is a thriving melting pot of culture, and
Yes.
you have strong Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. And
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful. What you're doing is amazing. Yes, addressing the emotional intelligence
Yeah.
of your audience is the most important thing that we storytellers do, because
Yes.
the stories take you to that. Uh, Transport you to that place where you want to be, and also a place from where you can see the solutions, the answers, everything, of course, in the story itself, and that somehow percolates to your own life, and you
Yes.
realize that it's easy, it's not a problem,
Yes,
easy to
we let them, yeah, we let them connect the dots. All the stories they have heard, when they have a problem in their life later, they'll be able to connect the dots together, and a beautiful column will appear. It's like the column, how we connect all the dots. So I've always
yes,
thought
yes,
storytelling is like the column.
absolutely, very nice. So we let them make an informed choice, and they will.
Yes,
So it will come
yes,
back and nudge them.
yes.
Wonderful, Rani. You have, I remember you telling me you have a Villi Pattu Kadai for us. Is that?
Yes, 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 definitely. You see, as I told you, how I incorporated the Marabu art form. So I saw this wonderful. You see, we have a theatre performance, Terukuthu. It's like our ancient theatre performance
Yeah.
is Terukuthu, where they play all the drama on the street, like a street theatre, and the whole culture of drama. How about storytelling? Villupattu with a song and story with a bow and striking, that is so vibrant even today in India. But what it takes on is in a religious festival, in the Mariamman festivals, in the Thiruvirakal, and they have wonderful Amman stories which happen. Beautiful storytellers creating and composing their wonderful stories, and Subbu Armugam in Chennai, a wonderful Villupata artist, and
Mhm.
his daughter and grandson are still keeping this art form alive. So I thought, how can I bring a little bit of that art form into my classroom? My classroom is very unique. They are not very strong in Tamil, as we are a diaspora citizen, and English seem to have become their first language, and mother tongue Tamil has taken a step back. Even at home, they've started to speak English. So I need to make them love the language and also love the culture. I have two jobs to do. So I thought, how can I bring this? I can't bring it in a full form. I want to introduce to them. So let me pick a story, a familiar story they know. The party vada suttakade. Okay, everybody know. And then how can I perform it? And what are the songs they know? They know cinema songs very well. A kind of, even if I say that that's the only form of one of the form of literature they know most. They know now is Tamil cinema and stories. So Tamil cinema and song has a great impact in our kids. So I wanted to include some of the songs from there. So I started. Okay, let me show you. And this is a modified villain. Whatever I'm doing is how it's inspired from the Villupattu tradition. It's totally how I've designed it at my own. So for my little audience in Singapore. So how it goes is the Villupattu starts off with a typical song saying that the program has started, a typical Vanakkam song, and this is how it goes. தந்தனத்தோம் என்று சொல்லியே வில்லினில் பாட, ஆமா வில்லினில் பாட வந்தருள் பாய் தமிழ் மகளே, ராகத்தோடும் தாளத்தோடும் கதைய நானும் சொல்ல போறேன், ராகத்தோடும் தாளத்தோடும் கதைய நானும் சொல்ல போறேன், கேட்டு நீங்கள் மகிழ வேண்டும், கதையைத்தானே, ஆமா கதையைத்தானே கேட்டு நீங்கள் மகிழ வேண்டும். எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம் வணக்கம் வணக்கம். We start the story like this. and then it is done as a group. It's a group performance. There will be a storyteller, and there's another two, and it's a group, so they'll be asking questions, so they represent the audience, the questions from the story. So I will try to tell it myself. All right. ஒரு சின்ன ஊர்ல, சிங்கப்பூர்ல, லிட்டில் இந்தியான்னு ஒரு வட்டாரம் இருக்கு. அந்த வட்டாரத்துல ஒரு பெரிய மரத்தடியில நம்ம நயன்தாரா, என்னது ஆட்டோகிராஃப் வேணுமா? சினிமா நடிகை நயன்தாரா நினைச்சீங்களா? அதெல்லாம் இல்ல. நம்ம பாட்டி நயன்தாரா வடை சுட்டுக்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. என்னது வடையா? பாட்டிக்கு வடைய தவிர வேற எதுவும் சுட தெரியாதான்னு கேக்குறீங்களா? பாட்டி, உனக்கு வேற ஏதாவது சுட தெரியுமா? வேற ஏதாவதா? இந்த காலத்து பிள்ளைங்கலாம் ஏதோ பீச்சான்னு சாப்பிடுதுங்கல்ல, அது எனக்கு சுட தெரியும். நான் அது சுடட்டுமா? பாட்டிக்கு பீஸா தெரியுமா? நம்ம பாட்டிய பீஸா சுட சொல்லுவோமா? பாட்டி பெரிய எண்ணெய் சட்டியை கொண்டு வந்து வச்சாங்க அடுப்பு மேல. அடுப்ப மூட்டுனாங்க. எண்ணெய் நல்லா கொதி வந்த உடனே மாவை எடுத்து அதுல ஓட்ட போடு எண்ணெயில போட்டாங்க. சொய், அடுத்த வடை, சொய், அடுத்த வடை, சொய் சொய் சொய், பபபா, சொய் சொய், பபபா. பாட்டி சுட்ட பீஸாவுல சீஸத்தான் போட்டாங்களாம். அந்த பாட்டி சுட்ட பீஸாவுல காளானையும் சேர்த்தாங்களாம். சொய் சொய், பபா, சொய் சொய், பபா. இப்படி பாட்டி கமகமன்னு வடைய சுட்டுக்கிட்டு இருக்கும்போது இத பக்கத்துல இருந்த ஒரு மரத்துக்கு மேல இருந்த ஒரு காக்கா பார்த்துக்கிட்டே இருந்துச்சு. அதுக்கு ரொம்ப பசி. அது எப்படி திருடலான்னு பார்த்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கும் பொழுது அத பாட்டி பார்த்துட்டாங்க. உடனே பாட்டி, பார்க்காத பார்க்காத, காக்காவே பார்க்காத, அடிச்சு போடுவேன், ஓடிப்போ அப்படின்னு விரட்டி விட்டாங்க. இருந்தாலும் நம்ம காக்கா சும்மா விடுமா? நம்ம நயன்தாரா பாட்டி அசந்த நேரமா இப்படி திரும்பும் போது அது அப்படி பறந்து வந்து ஒரு வடைய அங்கன்னு கவ்விக்கிட்டு மரத்துக்கு மேல போய் உட்காந்துச்சு. அப்பா, எவ்வளவு எவ்வளவு ருசியா இருக்கு! இது வடையில இது வித்தியாசமா இருக்குதே, ஏதோ ரொம்ப ருசியா இருக்கு. வாசம் கூட ரொம்ப வித்தியாசமா இருக்கே. இத எந்த பக்கத்துல இருந்து சாப்பிடலாம்? இந்த பக்கமா இந்த பக்கமா அப்படின்னு யோசிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருக்கும்போது அந்த பக்கமா யாரு வந்தா தெரியுமா? நான் கெட்ட நரி, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கெட்ட நரிடா. நான் கெட்ட நரி, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கெட்ட நரிடா. பாட்டி சுட்ட பீஸாவத்தான் காக்கா ஒண்ணு திருடி இருக்கு. அத நானு பார்த்து புட்டேன், பிடுங்காம விட மாட்டேன். நான் கெட்ட நரி, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கெட்ட நரிடா அப்படின்னு பாடிக்கிட்டே இந்த காக்காவை பார்த்து, காக்கா 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 காக்கா, நீ ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்க. அப்படியே இந்த படத்துல எல்லாம் வர நயன்தாரா மாதிரி அவ்வளவு அழகா இருக்க அப்படின்னு சொன்ன உடனே அந்த காக்காக்கு, என்னது நயன்தாராவா? நான் அவ்வளவு அழகாவா இருக்கேன்? என்ன பார்க்க அவ்வளவு அழகாவா இருக்கு. சரி சரி பாடுவோம் அப்படின்னு வாய திறந்து 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 பாட ஆரம்பிச்சது. கருப்பு தான் எனக்கு பிடிச்ச கலரு, கருப்பு தான் எனக்கு பிடிச்ச கலர். பீஸா கீழே விழுந்துருச்சு. நரி ஓடி வந்து அந்த பீஸாவை எடுத்துட்டு ஓடியே போயிருச்சு. அந்த காக்கா ரொம்ப சோகமா, போனி போ போனி போ, பசியோடு இருக்கின்றேன், பீஸாவும் கிடைக்கலையே, பசியோடு இருக்கின்றேன், பீஸாவும் கிடைக்கலையே, போனி போ போனி போ அப்படின்னு பாடிக்கிட்டே சோகத்தோட பறந்து போயிருச்சான். அதோட நம்ம கதையும் முடிஞ்சு போயிருச்சான். கதை கேட்க வந்தவர்க்கும் கதை சொன்ன அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி, ஏன் நன்றி, நன்றி, ஏன் நன்றி. இப்படித்தான் ஒரு வில்லுப்பாட்டு கதை முடியும் உஷா.
ரொம்பவே நல்லா இருந்தது. நன்றி நன்றி, ரொம்ப நன்றி.
இது குழந்தைகளுக்காக நானா கொஞ்சம் மாற்றி உருவாக்குனது. It's authentically is done differently with they create their own songs, their own musics, and so I wanted to start with something familiar. The kids, so Party Vadasutta Kada is a hit among, and every kid will know that story. So with the songs, they know, they get very tickled. Oh, I know this song is so and so, I know. So they know the story, they love the song, they love the Villupattu. So next time I ask what is Villupattu, oh, you tell a story with song. Okay, கதை பாடல் நம்ம கலாச்சாரத்துல இருக்க ஒரு ஸ்டோரி டெல்லிங் மெத்தட் உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிச்சா? ஓகே, அவேர்னஸ். And when they listen it with much appreciation and love, that art form and language goes into them without we forcing onto them. Learn this story, learn this structure. So it naturally goes to them.
Yeah, thank you, Rani. That was really wonderful, and I think I may have, but this is the first time I am listening to a Villupattu Kadai, and it is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And they have a big, they'll be done as a group with some musical accompaniments and all that. But since I'm telling it myself, I told all the Oti, Betty, and everybody I was telling it. So as a group, it sounds wonderful.
Yes, our ancient traditions, Indian tradition is so rich. I mean, stories are a part of our culture. I mean, we just can't exist without stories, right? And told in such beautiful ways. Thank you for sharing that Villupattu story with us. And I would like you to briefly tell me, what is the future of AKT? What are your future plans?
You see, now that I've passionately learned a lot of things, I want to share what I've learned with others. So currently what I'm doing is we are training teachers, we are training preschool teachers, we are training Ministry of Education teachers. We have workshops organized for them, and we are approached by the different companies to do storytelling for them, and training the trainers, and even wonderful learnings along the way. While I teach, I learn so much from the teachers, and because they're directly handling the little ones who teach preschool, I teach primary school teachers, secondary, JC, and all these teachers. And also, not only language is taught in a classroom. What if we bring the whole kids into a natural environment, like a wildlife reserve? There is a program where we do for them. The preschool teachers come there, and how do we teach using the natural elements? So the children have to play. It's the highest form of imagination, as the quote says. So you let them see the environment and learn naturally from the environment. Don't box them up in a class and force things. So I was so happy when we were approached to do the training for them. So, and in museum, so learning a language in museum is known to be it's generally preserved to be a very dull place. But how can we impart the knowledge in museums? So through stories, the stories they have, and we come up creating our own story. So we are a wonderful teaching training which I'm doing now with my team for teachers. And we train library volunteers. So wherever possible, whatever I've learned, let it be in Tamil language. I do storytelling bilingually. Let it be the language in storytelling, and let it be the Marathi performances. Let it be anything which interests me. As I told you, I'm a avid learner. I'm so thirsty for knowledge. Whatever I've learned, whatever the pedagogies I learned, I would like to pass on to the next generation, would like to reach to the kids, reach to the teachers, because if I reach to 10 teachers, they reach to many kids. So I would like to see this whole the whole language developing, and I would like to provide aids. It could be Tamil lessons, Vaimari lessons, and like we train teachers from US also, USA. We have Tamil teachers. We are training. We provide tools for them to make their teaching better. So sometimes, like teachers in overseas, they may not be teacher trained, but they're very, very passionate teachers. So we create tools for them. So that's how we want to like reach out to everybody.
Bravo, bravo, wonderful. You're doing a brilliant job. I mean,
Thank
what
you.
more can I say? And this is love, love for what you do. You know, Valentine's Day is not only about romance, romance with the work that you do. And I think that's very important.
Yes, yes,
Wonderful.
that's
Thank you, Rani. A pleasure
thank
to have known you and the kind of specialized work that you do, keeping alive Tamil alive in Singapore and also teaching trainers in the United States. That's
yes.
wonderful. So, for all you listeners out there from the United States, Phoenix, Chicago, and Cincinnati, please, if you need to be trained in Tamil, you know where to go. So definitely, Rani, you can put in your, if you have a website or an email or something, I could just add it in the chat box for people to get in touch with you. That will be
Sure.
super wonderful. And you must connect me to the Willy part person in Chennai. Really, that will be lovely, lovely, excellent.
Thank you.
I want to get indigenous tellers, on this show, and want to showcase India, which is so rich. I mean,
Yes.
one would never get tired of exploring and knowing about the Indian storytelling traditions. And this is wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
So
Do you
they
have a
have even,
sorry,
sorry,
go ahead. No,
they
do you
have
have
even Kadai Padal. There's another one called the Kadai Padal, the song and story. So even that is one of our. Just wanted to highlight that part.
so are you going to share that as the parting shot? Uh,
No, since it's Valentine's Day, and
okay,
I thought maybe a fun love story which I heard I wanted to just share.
sure.
All right. This is about a couple, a man and a wife, who was married for almost 50 years. They were aging together. They shared everything. They had no secrets, except the old woman has told her husband not to look into the box which she has kept on top of the shelf and not to ask anything about it. That the old man agreed. Without thinking much, he forgot about it, thinking that it must be one of her things. So, after some time, when the old woman was in hospital and not much days to live, she called her husband and she said, "Dear, can you go back to our house and take that box and come?" And that he did. Quickly he ran home and he took the box and he came and gave it to her. And she opened it and there was two crocheted dolls and what $90,000. The man was quite surprised to see the doll and so much of money. And he asked, what is all this? And the wife said, "When we got married, my grandmother told me the secret to a happy married life is never to argue when you are angry. So, what to do when I get angry? You do a crochet of a doll and never argue and keep quiet." And upon hearing this, Athaman was so happy. Of all these 50 years of marriage, you are only angry with me twice. With, with pride, he carried her and lovingly kissed her forehead. And then he got reminded about the money. And he asked, what about the money? And that she said smilingly, "I made that money selling all the other dolls." So there is no perfect relationship. So we all are imperfectly perfect when we are willing to care for one another, trust one another, be there for one another, and love each other's imperfection, we all can have a perfect relationship. Whether mother, daughter, mother, son, father, son, whether a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, we all can have a wonderful relationship and a happy Valentine's Day. May we spread the love for stories and spread for one another. And thank you,
Thank
Bharat.
you. Thank you, Rani. But I think you ended it beautifully. Such a pleasure. And I just want to add to that, friends, be charming, be loved, be crazy, be happy, be in love with whatever you do. It's Valentine's Day. So
Yes.
happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, Rani, for that wonderful, wonderful session.
Thank
And
you,
have
Usha. And thank you for this Storytellers Cafe for promoting storytellers around the world, the Indian, highlighting the Indian storytellers, platform for Indian storytellers to be highlighted. I think it's a wonderful a duty or wonderful thing that you are doing, and I wish many success.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't know what was in store for me as I started this end of June. Very happy when Bharat FM asked me to start off this. I went to them with this proposal of Storytellers Cafe where we only listen to stories, take our mind off from this pandemic. But it's been a wonderful journey the last 8 months or 7 months. And every time I discover something new, I
Yeah.
can, unpack, and it reveals a secret in the
Yes.
form of a wonderful storyteller.
Sorry. And the quote,
Thank you.
the quote which you just said is about there isn't anybody who you can't love when you hear their story. So it's a platform where you let us share our story, our storytelling journey, how we share the story to our kids. So I think you're doing a wonderful session. Thank you. Kudos to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
good evening. Good night to Singapore. I know it's Valentine's Day, so you're all up, awake, and wonderful to have hosted Rani Kanna. And to all the listeners all over the world, a very happy Valentine's Day. Stay warm, stay blessed, stay safe, masked,
Yes.
and still maintain social distancing. Yeah. Good night, and have a great week ahead of you.
Good
Thank you, Ram.
night. Happy Valentine's Day.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.